Hello, everyone. I'm Patty Ann Brown, and you are in the strategy room. Chaos at Nevada's state Democratic convention over the weekend has some Democrats fearing the unrest could spread to other states and even the national convention in July. Democratic candidate Bernie Sanders facing pressure from party leaders to rein in his supporters who have accused the DNC of bias against the Vermont senator. This as Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton tries to turn her focus to the presumptive GOP nominee Donald Trump. So will the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia be chaotic? Joining us now to weigh in are Iona College professor Jeanne Zaino and Republican strategist Bonjean. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks very much.
Jeanne, what do you make of the fighting that went on at the Nevada convention?
Well, you know, it's ironic. I don't think any of us thought that at this late stage in the game that we would be focused on chaos and violence on the Democratic side, and yet that's precisely where we are. We got a Republican Party that is looking increasingly like it is more and more cohesive going into Cleveland, and a Democratic Party that is almost tearing itself apart from the inside at this point. And this has got to be a huge concern for the Clinton team. You know, she desperately needs to pivot to the general election at this point. She's only 94 delegates shy of capturing the nomination, and yet they are unable to control Sanders. And I don't think this is a big surprise, in part because Sanders has never been a Democrat. He is an independent who caucused with the Democrats and joined the Democratic Party to run for the presidency. So the idea that he is going to listen to the party elite or party establishment and pull his supporters back, I think it is something of a pipe dream at this point. He said he will stay in, he said he will fight, and he is not pulling them back, and that's a major problem for the Clinton team at this point.
And Ron, that is what we're hearing from Sanders' critics, that he should be doing more to condemn the supporters who were accused of launching these crude and disrespectful comments and just pull back in general. What do you say about that criticism?
Well, I think these are coming from the establishment folks in the Democratic Party who want to see unity behind Hillary Clinton. Look, first of all, the Nevada Democratic Party, state party, is a disaster. I mean, when they were having their caucuses, they were doing coin tosses to determine whether or not Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders would win, and Hillary Clinton won like 5 times or something like that. So I can see why the Sanders people feel disenfranchised. They feel like the system is rigged. And I feel like in this way, the Democrats have become the Republicans, and the Republicans have become the Democrats. I mean, Donald Trump used to have violence at his rallies, and now the Democrats have violence on theirs. Donald Trump today is meeting with Henry Kissinger. He has named his Supreme Court picks with a list. You know, he's trying to do things that are a little bit more presidential. The challenge for Hillary Clinton is to consolidate the Democratic Party. It is a dilemma for Democrats going into the convention because you have an angry, anti-establishment part of their party that wants to see Sanders in, and I don't think you're going to see any healing anytime soon.
Yeah, definitely this party infighting having an impact on the race for the White House. So the New York Times saying, Jeanne, that you know, Hillary is fighting a war on 2 fronts and that it's making it difficult for her. What about that? Yeah,
absolutely, and I think that's a great analogy because it is very difficult to do, to battle on both fronts, and that's what she has to do. And I think it is fascinating that, you know, this is a party that some time ago was able to turn to a person like Ralph Nader and say, look, what you're doing is going to destroy our chances of winning. You've got to back off. And those messages are falling on deaf ears when it comes to Bernie Sanders, in part because he keeps winning, as Ron mentioned. He keeps winning these states. And so it is very difficult, I think, for the party to explain how you can keep winning and yet you have no chance of winning this thing, which is exactly the truth. And so these people are feeling incredibly disenfranchised, and the party has done that to themselves by the way they are allocating these delegates. And so it's going to take a lot of explanation and a lot of education, and I'm not sure that is going to work when it comes to the base and particularly Bernie Sanders supporters. And these are, you know, people who tend to be young, they tend to be energetic, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if they showed up in Philadelphia in droves and demanded to be heard. You know, is it going to be 1968 in Chicago? Probably not, but it could be a much more raucous crowd and a much more raucous convention than I think anybody ever thought we'd see in Philadelphia this year.
Yeah, Sanders' advisors, in fact, are acknowledging that Sanders is actually going to ramp up his attacks on Hillary Clinton, despite the fact that the party leaders are asking him to, tone it down. Ron, he probably doesn't have a chance of winning, but he says, look, he's trying to change the Democratic Party forever. He wants changes to the platform. He wants changes to the election process. But in the meantime, is he doing Donald Trump a favor here?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Look, Sanders is trying to pull the Democratic Party, especially Hillary Clinton, to the left and have her follow his policies against Wall Street, big banks, the health care system, everything, that Bernie Sanders has been pounding the last few months. He's going for California at this point, trying to make that a big win for himself. And the fact that, he lost Kentucky by a hair, won Oregon. I mean, he has some momentum going into California. And yeah, this is very helpful for Donald Trump to get organized at this point and try to set up his finance system to raise the kind of money he needs to combat Hillary Clinton, and let the Democrats be distracted with their infighting.
All right, Ron, Jeanne, thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
And for complete coverage of the 2016 election, go to foxnews.com. I'm Patty Ann Brown. Thanks for watching.